how's it going? So I forgot to mention it, but it just slipped out of my mind, basically. Okay. So, one bad thing to do the New Year's resolution, man, when you're trying to change too much shit at the same time, is you're actually reinforcing your addiction. Right? Because think about it, okay? This is especially stuff like gym, which is like, and study, which can give you negative dopamine. So you have to know how to hack it to do it consistently for long periods of time. This is generally like low dopamine environment, right? So we put it, I don't know, like this. And this is like high dopamine, like jamming your head with. It's like eating crisps full time. It's just like your receptors are so burned out, you just cannot do this shit. But because you're trying to do this consistently and you're failing, what your brain is learning is to like this even more. Because think about it, right? Remember we talked about ID, ego, and superego. ID is kind of this guy who is just instincts and emotions. He can be productive, but he can be also destructive if you don't control him. So the point I'm trying to make, right? This shit. Okay, how can I? Let me just think. So okay, I'll simplify it. Now, let's just think about ID as a person who does what feels good. Okay, this shit feels good. This shit doesn't always feel good, especially if your receptors are burned out. It feels like nothing. Okay. So the more times you try to stress it with this, the less likely this guy is to agree to even try it. Because you try, you feel how shit it is, you go back. So now this guy learned, okay, don't go here. Well, think about ideas like a child, right? Think about it, okay? If feels good equals do more. If feels bad equals do less. So do you understand? You making it feel super shit. So what does it learn? It says, okay, nope, not gonna do that anymore. This feels good. He goes, yep, that's what we need. You'd be like, no. But this is unproductive. Remember, your brain emotional circuitry is stupid. It doesn't care whether it's good or bad for you. Its only concern is what produces dopamine. It's same with food. Your brain is not evolved enough yet to understand nutritional value of food. So it functions like, oh, does it give me quick release of a lot of energy, which is crisps, ice cream, sugar, all of this bullshit? It will say, oh, that feels very, very good. I want more of that, right? Even though it doesn't understand the difference between an empty calorie and a nutritional calorie, right? So that's why by default it will gravitate towards shit, and companies know that, and that's why they sell all this junk. Oh, bloody capitalism. Anyway, so what I'm trying to tell you is, do not do this shit all at the same time. Change one habit. Okay, let's just say first you smoke as well. Let's just do smoking here as well. Okay. So take smoking and say, okay, how can I replace it? So how do I work with this guy? How do I work with ID? He wants to do something that feels good. So we take smoke and we replace it with something that gives you even more dopamine, right? So let's say dopamine, I don't know, smoking gives you 25,000, just for us, right? We say, you know what I'm gonna do? Every time I feel like smoking, I'm gonna drink a cup of coffee with a blueberry muffin. Right? Boom. I'm telling you, blueberry muffin is OP AF, okay? OP. So now, what do you think this guy's gonna do? He'll be like, should I do this or should I do this? No, I'm gonna do this. And then voila, you stop smoking. Now you're a coffee and blueberry addict and you're fat bastard. But you have stopped smoking. I know it's a shitty example, but But I'm just saying that you can do that stuff, right? Or you can go, okay, I'm gonna eat coffee with chocolate, some kind of chocolate, right? Like just basically roughly measure the dopamine and just use something to replace it. Again, remember I said you can substitute a shit habit for a shit habit, but the habit is um, less damaging for you, right? For example, I eat a lot, that's why I'm overweight, but all of my food is healthy. I said to myself, you know what? I'm gonna give myself permission to eat as much as I want, drink as much coffee, decaf, and tea as much as I want. If I want to eat like rice, I can eat as much as I want. If I want to eat oatmeal, as much as I want. If I want to eat mashed potatoes, any type of potatoes, like baby potatoes, there are different type of flavors. Do you know what I mean? And I say, okay, I can eat as much as I want. The benefit of healthy food is that it has very high satiety. It's called like how much fullness do you feel. You can eat 2,000 worth of crisps and Monster energy drink easily in calories, right? You will not be able to eat 2,000 calories worth of potatoes. It's just not physically possible to do, right? And the beauty of healthy food is that once you eat, like, I don't know, let's say 750 calories in potatoes, that's like almost a kilo, probably. We're talking 400, about 800 probably. Yeah, probably a kilo of potatoes. I am telling you, you will not want to eat crisps because your body is so full of your satiety, like it's so high, you just don't want to eat anymore. Even your body will reject even candy, anything, whatever, right? So you can sort of hack it, right? So that's what I'm saying is that try to replace it. Work with this guy. Work with this guy. He will help you, right? And then I don't know, Nutella. Replace it with like I don't know. Just you need to kind of experiment and write down your own stuff. I was never big into Nutella and chocolate anyway, so that's why it's hard for me to. Monster drink, the taste of this shit is, oh my god, like really, like how is Monster drink better than cola? Like it's just there's no way, it's tastier. League, I mean, how is League better than GTA 5, for example, like, or League 1-on-1? Like why is it better? It's just not better. But you can get it at, like, this guy, you can get him addicted to almost anything. As long as you provide the dopamine. Just work the dopamine algorithm or whatever. Dopamine. Let's just call it dopamine hack, right? And again, under no circumstances do you try to do too many changes at the same time. It's not going to work. And you also have to remember that some shit is just not going to work. You will never, ever like to study. I will promise you that. I've been trying to do it for so long, and it's just because it has no dopamine. It's like negative dopamine sometimes. You will never ever enjoy ripping your muscles in the gym because it's painful, right? So it has negative dopamine. So for you to go to the gym, there has to be some kind of substitute to compensate for this loss of dopamine. This is why this shit is so easy, because it's easy to do and it's high dopamine. But the problem is it's like crisps. It's like eating sugars shit. In the long term, it's just going to kill you. But the problem is the brain is not smart enough to understand it, because we're primitive monkeys at the end of the day. What is this? Oh my god, really? Good stuff. So that's it. Another thing, I checked the Copilot. I'm actually digging this thing. I tested it today because I'm in Microsoft, and I wrote in here how long does it take to form a habit. And then this thing wrote. I have to say, it says 66 days. So roughly right, because some habits they'll be like 21 days, some habits are like 3 days, some habits will take 6 months. Especially like stuff like changing your wake up habits. But with melatonin and L-theanine, it's actually not that difficult. But anyway, Copilot is pretty good. But very generic, honestly. And I don't know, it's very... Anyway, like, I'm just highlighting that it might take longer for some habits to form. Because I said like 21 to 30, but some habits they take longer. Okay, I'll sum it up again. ID works like this. What feels good, do more. What feels bad, do less. So if you stress it too much, it learns not to even think about it. As soon as you start even thinking about doing this, it will say, F off, I'm gonna be the league addict. I don't want to be New Year's resolution man. So you need to take one habit at a time and provide equal or better substitute. And then it will say, oh, I don't want to smoke anymore. I want the blueberry muffin with chocolate and coffee. And that's how you quit. I don't want Snickers anymore. I want an apple, a banana, and a pear. I would trade one Snickers for 2 bananas, easily. For sure. And if somebody tells me, oh, I give you a conference pear, I really like them. Like, it's not even close. I'm not going to go for Snickers. For sure. Right? Or if somebody tells me, hey, do you want Snickers or do you want a chicken fillet sandwich with a chicken... I don't remember the name of this thing. But I mean, a sandwich is so much nicer than Snickers. So I go for the sandwich. You see? Now, what you do not, under no circumstances, do you do is like, you know what? I'm a Snickers addict. I'm just not gonna eat Snickers ever again. That's it. I'm done. I'm a Superman. Halfway into the day, it's like, oh shit, where's my Snickers? I'm like down 60,000 dopamine, and I have nothing to compensate it for. And that's half a day. After a week, you're gonna be like minus 3 million dopamine. Your body is gonna go on a rampage, and that's how you're gonna lose control of your body. Because some people wrote to me, and I hear this a lot. They're like, oh, you know, it's like body just stops listening to me. It's like, why is that happening? Because you are negative dopamine, and your body is like, I don't want to do this. Why are you forcing me to do shit I don't want? Do you understand? It's this guy is just on a complete rampage, like strike. I'm talking like complete strike, and he's saying, what do I get in return? What do I get in return? Why am I doing this? And you have to answer that by saying, hey, I know we stopped smoking, but you're getting blueberry muffin, you're getting chocolate, you're getting coffee. Nyam, nyam, nyam. Do you understand? Alright, take care. Bye-bye.